All right, so we have done lots of solving equations. We've done one-step equations, two-step equations, equations that we have to simplify, equations that we have to do the distributive property on. So the next thing we're going to find is equations where we have variables on both sides of our equal sign. So our rules to follow. The first thing we should always look for is, do we need to do the distributive property? Which is easy to spot because you'll just see some parentheses. So that's the first thing to look for. Deal with that first. Then, can you combine any like terms? Here's our new step. We need to get our variables on the same side. Then we can do our normal algebra steps. So in this case, here's our example problem. Do we see the distributive property? Well, I don't see any parentheses in my problem, so we don't need to do any distributive. Number 2, combine like terms. So is the left side completely simplified right now? Well, no, I've got some x's and I have more x's, so I have a total of 8x. Now the left side is simplified. The right side, I have a 10 and I have a 13 that can be put together, so I have plus 23. So now we are on to step 3. Get your variables on the same side. So we have an 8x on the left side and a 2x on the right side. You have 2 different options that you could do. Think of these as in 2 separate rooms. I have a room over here and I have a room over here. The x's need to hang out together. So it doesn't matter if the 2x goes over to this room to hang out with the 8x, or if the 8x walks over here and hangs out with the 2x. The point is they need to hang out together. So it doesn't matter which way you do it. So I could have the 2x move over here. So let's do that. So I need the 2x to leave this side of the room, or to leave this room. So how do I get rid of 2x's? Well, I subtract 2x's. If I do something to one side, I have to do the exact same thing to the other side. So what's left over? Well, my x's are hanging out, which is exactly what we wanted, and it makes a total of 6x plus 5. My x's went away, and I'm just left with a positive 23. Now, my x's are all on the same side, and we can go through our steps, our normal algebra steps to solve for x. So now, that was if we decided 2x should move and go to the other side. Let's try it the other way. So we don't need to do step 1. Step 2 gave us 8x plus 5 equals 2x plus 23. All right, so in this case, instead of having the 2x do the moving to go hang out with 8x, we're going to have the 8x move so that it buddies up with the 2x. So how do I get rid of 8x's? Well, I subtract 8x's. If I do it to one side, I need to do it to the other side. So 8x minus 8x goes away, and I'm left with 5. 2x's minus 8x gets us negative 6x plus 23. From here, we have all of our x's on one side of our equal sign. We'll do our normal algebra steps, and we'll get the exact same answer as if the 2x had moved, which is what we did first. We'll get the exact same answer. Now, you might have noticed that in this case, I ended up with a negative 6x. Now, if you do not like dealing with negatives, then we should think about how we want, or which one we want to move. So there's my 8x. So if I'm going to choose between moving the 2x over that way, or move the 8x over that way, and I don't like dealing with negatives, I'm going to choose the 2x, the smaller number, and move that one, because if I subtract 2x from this side, I'm still going to end up with a positive value. Whereas, let's undo a little bit. If I take my bigger number and I move that, minus 8x, then I'm going to be taking a small number and minusing a big number, and I'm going to end up with a negative number to deal with. So if I want to do everything I can to avoid negatives, I'm going to move the smaller x value. So I would choose to move the 2x as opposed to the 8x. All right, so let's stop. Complete checkup number 5, solving equations before continuing. Thank you.